My name is Sherry Wolf. I'm the author of Sexuality and Socialism, History, Politics, and Theory of LGBT Liberation. I speak on college campuses, at trade union halls, and in community centers all the time. And I wanted to sort of focus on one question that gets posed a lot, especially over the last couple of months. People say to me, we've marched. We had the National Equality March almost a year ago in October, where more than 200,000 people came out. We've had civil disobedience actions. People have chained themselves to senators' offices. We've written letters. People have even voted for folks that they felt were going to deliver the goods. And yet still, we don't have LGBT equality. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people do not have equality on the job. We don't have equality in our relationships and in a whole realm of ways in American society. Where do we go from here? What do we do? First thing I think we have to say is don't despair. The fact is, our marches, our protests, our teach-ins, the street heat that we've created over the last year and a half, ever since what was supposed to have been a setback with Prop 8, with the passage of Proposition 8 in California, has actually catapulted our movement forward. And more importantly, or as importantly, as a result of that, it's catapulted consciousness among people regardless of their sexual orientation forward. Most people in this country, according to most polls, over 90% support equality on the job for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people. Most people in this country are for some form of civil union, if not outright marriage. And certainly, even Republicans today are for the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell in the military. What we need to do is not stop where we are, and also not pretend as though the Democrats are going to do it without our agitation. The fact is, hospitalization visits rights for LGBT couples, domestic partnership benefits for lesbian and gay couples, of those who are in the federal government, all of these kinds of partial reforms that have been passed over the last year would not have happened if we hadn't mobilized. So that's number one. But number two, and one of the things that I talk about in the book so much, is that we have to not see our struggle as isolated and apart from the larger social and economic struggles taking place in this country. The fact is, we are immigrants. We are black, we are brown, and frankly, lesbians have to pay the rent too. We are workers. And so long as we understand that our struggles are inextricably tied to the struggles of the larger community around us, then we are going to be able to insert these demands that we have inside of these broader struggles. Whether it's the immigrant rights fight, we have to be there, of course, not just because we solidarize with our immigrant brothers and sisters, but also because many of us are immigrants, and also because we understand that the same forces keeping down immigrants are the kinds of forces that are going against LGBT people. It's right for us to march along with the NAACP and the labor movement come October 2nd of 2010, because we are workers and we need these rights on the job, and we should be bringing the demand for Employment Non-Discrimination Act that is transgender inclusive into that march along with everybody else. That's our future. In fact, it points to the high points of our past. If you look at some of the lessons that I talk about in the book, for example, even 80 years ago, when workers in this country on the West Coast who mobilized and organized in something called the Marine Cooks and Stewards Union, if 80 years ago they could elect black, gay trade union leaders and run a banner across their union hall that read queer baiting, red baiting, and race baiting equals union busting, don't tell me that 80 years later we can't fight for everything. We have a future in this country outside of just the electoral arena. We need to see our mobilization on the streets. We need to see our mobilization inside the college campuses, in our trade unions and communities as the most important place to mobilize, to educate, and to get other people involved in our struggle and get our struggle immersed and inserted into the struggles of others. Because we are part of the larger society, and people are beginning to see that. You want to come to your university campus, to your community center, or to your union hall to give a talk, a lengthier discussion about our history, our politics, and our theory that's accessible, that's funny, and that's interesting and educational, please give me a ring. Contact me via Facebook. I'm happy to come.